Yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
So I'm just telling you, me and Oscar have been trying to survive the heat wave that we're
Hmm.
undergoing right now.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
It's so crazy. And I have been having to take him out at very odd hours, just trying to keep him cool. It's definitely in the mid 90s here,
Ooh.
and definitely something that Oscar's, after a few minutes panting. So
Hmm.
we've been holding all kinds of hours, but you know what? Last time, I got to tell you, Indrani really got to me.
Finally.
And I was
Been
super
waiting for you to
fired
say
up.
that.
Yeah, finally. I was super fired up last time. And I have to tell you that my big question here at this stage, and I wanted to check in with you, was Lord have mercy, I cannot understand or be assured or confident as to whether Peter Mukerjea was involved directly.
Hmm.
I just don't know what to think. We did hear that crisis, that father son crisis.
Hmm.
If you recall, he also said that he was okay. Go ahead, file the police report
Yeah.
that Sheena's missing. And then we heard Indrani sort of step back in there.
Hmm.
Uh, where are you at?
I am tired of listening to Indrani, to be honest.
We're trying
But
to be unbiased, but yes,
yeah, I'm only human.
you're only human.
Yeah.
You got have you got a feeling about Peter at this point? Are you on the fence? Which way are you leaning?
I think that's a harder question.
Very.
I think I'm on the fence right now. I
Yeah.
need some more information
It's
before
pretty
I
safe
decide.
on the fence, right? we're
Yeah.
hanging there. We're kind of looking on both sides.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
hard. I don't think, at least of what we know here as it's being presented, we're not thinking about anything else. We're
Hmm.
just trying to listen to the phone calls and see
Yeah.
what we see, hear what we hear,
Hmm.
draw some conclusions perhaps. But, Rahul last time really lost it, which I think we were both relieved.
Hmm.
What do you think? We were glad, right? Like the
Oh
dam
yeah,
burst a little bit.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
And, I think they covered the Nagpur and the Bentley pretty well.
Yeah. A little too well.
And apparently there's property searches going on in multiple places.
Hmm.
And everybody's looking for her, apparently. Apparently. We've got
Apparently.
Mr. Mukerjea in the Reliance office
Yes.
thinking about her. We've got Rahul who's chomping at the bit to find her. And then we
Hmm.
have these two who have their own way of trying to find her.
Right.
Um,
And
so
that's
I
even
think,
Bharti.
yeah, Dave and Bharti,
Yeah.
Mr. CBI.
Yeah.
So, but you know what I thought would be good is to just kind of show folks who may not be familiar with the geography of India and where
Yeah.
all these places are, a map. What do you think of that?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's time.
So here we are. This is India, as you can see. Uh,
Yeah,
what's
I
in
see
the
there's a little
Mumbai?
heart on Mumbai.
I don't think that's my doing, honestly. I'm just trying to figure that out. I
Yeah,
never had to look Bombay on a map. I
you've
don't
left
think
your
that's
heart
my
in
doing.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so show us where like Nagpur, which is coming up so repeatedly
Yeah.
here, would be.
So it's right here. You see Nagpur right
Okay.
here.
So it's a good distance away.
Mm-hmm.
Um
It's about
that's
eight
got
to
to
ten
be
hours.
now let's give a clue to where Goa is, since these are the property searches.
Yeah. So Goa is right here.
Right, and this is where, Peter and Indrani are during the phone calls that we've listened to thus far.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Rahul is in
Rahul is here. Yeah.
and, Indrani's claim is that, Sheena's in Nagpur,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's kind of far away compared to Goa. Um,
Yes.
as I hope people can see, these are really 2 different areas to be looking for property. They
Mm-hmm.
similar. One is Oceanside, very popular. What about, uh, where, Indrani's from? Guwahati.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna start with. Right here. She is from Guwahati,
Right.
which is in Assam. It's right here. So it's
Okay.
pretty far from Bombay, Mumbai.
Right, and I think it would be helpful then to also see where she went to first after leaving. So she went to Shillong, right? And then over to Calcutta, which is on the
So,
absolute opposite side.
yep. So Calcutta is here,
Yes.
and then Shillong is here. So
Right.
Shillong it's on the border of Assam and Meghalaya, right
Right.
here. And
Right.
then she went further away to Calcutta.
Right. And
So she
then
basically made her trek out then to Bombay.
correct. And wasn't there some conversation somewhere? There's a conversation that comes up later that she has gone to Kashmir. She's been cited in
Mm-hmm.
Kashmir. So we might as well show
Sheena,
that while we're here. Yeah.
yeah.
Just so we're clear, this
So,
is where later on, much after this point in these phone calls, there's a claim that she's been cited in Kashmir and or
mm-hmm.
Jammu. So
Yeah. So Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir are right here. So you see how far away that is from Bombay. It's on the north
yeah,
end. Oops.
right. Well, I think it's
Uh,
good. Why don't you stay there in Mumbai for a second? Uh, yeah. So let's just show here, uh, Bandra. Let's see, a little closer
mhm,
in. So Sheena and Rahul were living in Andheri. We're thinking
mhm.
west or east, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So Andheri
then
here
right. And so then Rahul had dropped off Sheena in Bandra.
mhm,
So
at
there's Bandra
Amarsan's.
West.
Yeah, she should be. So that was. Let's see. Yeah, that would have been here.
Right. And then she there at some point we're gonna show some pictures of these for everybody. They're on Hill Road
Mm-hmm.
at some point, according to Indrani's timeline,
Hmm.
at the Royal China, and we will show a picture of that. So that's Hill Road, and then there's the Taj Land's End, which is a hotel, 5-star hotel, and
It's literally
so
at the man's end.
exactly, and these are not very far away. I mean, Taj Land's End to Hill Road is not an extraordinary amount of distance. However, depending on time of day, traffic can keep you. Oh, I mean, you could be 45 minutes even just making this very basic trek from, like, Taj Land's End over
Mm-hmm.
here onto Hill Road. So, let's
Yeah,
just look
sometimes it
at
might just be quicker to walk instead of
yeah,
go
right,
moving. That's
right,
how it is.
which nobody likes to do, but they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's just show this Taj Land's End. This is where it is claimed that, let's see, right. So this is supposed to be where they have dinner, I think.
I think coffee. She's quick to correct that it's not dinner. She says that she just had coffee.
Right. And then Royal China.
Yep. So that is. I think they moved it, right?
Yes, but I have a picture, if you don't have one, of the actual site.
Yeah, let me share that right now. Oops, and of course it's gone, but we can see all the delicious food. Here it
Yeah.
is.
Yes. Okay, this picture is very important, because of this here, and there's an alleyway back here. I don't know if you can see my
Mhm.
mouse or not, right?
I doubt
Yeah,
it.
doubt it too. So this is a kind of redesign, but there were shutters that come down, and we'll show you a picture of what that would have looked like.
Hmm.
So this is not an extraordinarily large street, but is jam-packed full of people and traffic. And it is claimed by Indrani that they stopped here and
Hmm.
that they tried to have dinner there, but
Hmm.
unfortunately the shutters were down, blocking the entrance, and that it was shut. And there's also a claim that there was a phone call made to find out if they were shut. So
Yeah.
this is kind of an important piece of the timeline.
Hmm.
And we're doing a very cursory job now. We'll get into more details at some other point. And then the jewelry shop was one of the claims
Yeah.
that there was a conversation about having stopped to see some jewelry.
Yeah.
And there's a photograph that has the shutters. Yeah.
Here we are.
So,
Yeah, that's
and
what
it's
the shutter.
really
Okay.
interesting because, you know, I'm sure there'd be some people who are at some point are going to ask us about cameras, CCTV.
Hmm.
I would say that's pretty hit or miss, believe it or not. And
Hmm.
by the time anyway anybody got around to really filing a missing persons report, it's likely that even if there was camera footage, we don't know this for sure. We don't know that for sure. But
Hmm.
as far as we know, no CCTV footage has been presented to
No.
show the two of them in this shop. And nobody bought anything. That's what Andrani said. Nothing was bought, just
Hmm.
to see. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that gives people some things to picture as we go along. Um, I think that the last point that we left off is that we were discussing that Indrani now was very excited. She said she really wanted to do this now. She really wanted to file a missing report.
Hmm.
And she had said that, hey, uh, I need your home address, Rahul. They were not going to let me
Hmm.
file this without a home address. And we
Yep.
felt that that was very sus.
Yeah. Yes.
And we were thinking that why do you think that she might have wanted that home address? Because the whole question was, can you file a report, a missing persons report without their home address?
Hmm.
Rahul was absolutely saying, hey, you don't need the home address. And she was insisting. Any
Yep.
clues as to why?
Without sounding unbiased? No. While sounding biased?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Uh, yeah, it's not good. I don't know if she's trying to locate Rahul. There's obviously a reason why Indrani doesn't have the home address. Uh, it's not for a good purpose, is what I would say.
Yeah, let's just talk about that for a second. So, you know, they they've been we what we understand is that they've been together for some time living at an address. And the thing is why is it, do you think, that they don't have the home address? So you're making a point, raising our awareness that they don't have it. Andrani
Yeah.
doesn't have it. So mm, that in itself is interesting and kind of, right, gives a picture as to why it is that these phone conversations might be a little contentious.
Yeah, I think so. There's two things I want to say here. So I live away from my parents. My parents still live in India. And every time I move, they do have my updated address. Before I even move, like once I finalize a place, they will have my updated address. So it is very weird for Peter, if not Indrani and Peter, to not have Rahul and Sheena's address. But just to step outside of the calls for a second, uh, I think Rahul says that they've not been in touch with each other. Like the two parties have not been in touch with each other. So Peter and Indrani and Sheena and Rahul have not been in touch with each other over the last few years. So just to give the benefit of the doubt, it's possible that's why Indrani and Peter don't have Sheena and Rahul's home address, but it's still pretty suspicious.
Right, and I think she makes mention in one of the earlier calls that, she's just heard from Sheena for the first time in a
Mm-hmm.
long time, and,
Yeah.
so kind of setting up that there's some distance going on here. People are not,
Mhm.
you know, really in each other's pockets at this point. They're kind
Mhm.
of going on living their separate lives. As we know, they have their issues related to this relationship between
Mhm.
Rahul and Sheena. And yeah. Did you want to say anything about what phone calls we're listening to?
Sure. So we stopped. I think it was a phone call where Rahul says that he's thinking about filing a report with the police that Sheena's missing. And then Peter says that, yeah, he should go ahead with that if he needs any help. Peter and Indrani can join him if he needs any support. And then Indrani chimes in saying that, no, no, wait for Devin Bharti to get back. Let them locate the phone. Basically, what sounds like dissuading Rahul to file the report. And then it seems like she picks up the receiver and starts talking, but I'm not sure if it's a separate call.
Yeah. So I thought we'd start a little bit before the next call just to get everybody back into the space of
Sure.
the phone calls. But I think what we have decided that is clearly the case that if anyone's going to file a report, Indrani is working double time, seemingly, to be the one to file. But it also
Mhm.
seems like she's trying to reroute everybody, all this back to their contact, which is a key
Mhm.
point. So if there's
Yes.
going to be any report, she's suddenly said, "Yeah, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it." Rahul's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, you can go ahead. I'll also go ahead, and we can all
Yeah.
file."
Yeah.
So
The
that
more
didn't
the
really
better.
work. I I
Mhm.
think if her goal was to have everything in her hands, yeah,
Mhm.
she's got a little bit of a problem. So I think that's where we left off. So what if I just jump in? Unless there was something else you wanted to mention here that I've forgotten.
You always
Oh.
read my mind. Freaks me out. I was just thinking of something.
What's
uh,
that?
I was just thinking that sometimes Indrani talks to Rahul as if, oops, sorry. Sometimes Indrani talks to Rahul as if he doesn't know better, and that could be because he grew up in the UK, and she might try to present it as you don't know the Indian systems because you haven't lived here, you haven't been brought up here. So take my
Mm,
word for what I'm saying.
mm.
That might be something to keep in the back of the mind as we
A
listen to these calls.
a very unbiased comment from you. Cool. Giving her
Trying,
the
trying
benefit of
so
the
hard.
doubt. Good for
Yeah,
you. I'm proud of you.
trying.
Um,
Thanks, man.
We can get the detail. We can get the address from Mukerjea itself.
Yeah, exactly. But what do you need a home address for? She's not at home, for God's sake.
No, she's not. Of course, she's not at home. For God's sake, I know that.
We have to only file a police complaint. You have to prove that, no? That the person is.
No, we are filing. We're not filing a police
I
complaint.
like to.
In Goa.
Not in Goa. We should get in my
We
here.
have to go to Bombay to do that.
I don't have to go. I'll get it done. I'll get it done. I have to do that. Because I'd like to do that now.
So we give you the address. What will be the address?
Which one?
Your home address where Sheena lives, Rahul.
Why do you need my home address?
I need the home address because without the home address, one cannot file a police complaint. Because I would like to file a police complaint now with Devin Bharti.
You don't.
Because, you
No. Of course you could. Of course you can file a police complaint without the home address.
You need to say that this person lives here, this person works here, lives here. They will ask for details, Rahul.
They can take it from work. No, also.
Yes, I can't say I don't know. I can't say that. No, Rahul, which I really don't know. I don't know where she lives, but I have to give some details. That where she lives, one needs to know that, no? Conversation throughout the morning, she was
Okay, this is the
apparently
new
talking
call.
to somebody
Yeah.
called Nishant Khurana. They have identified the number, Nishant Khurana in Delhi.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this name? Because I have never heard
You
ever.
know-
I mean, like I said, she gave me some story about some Nagpur guy. Okay, now
Yeah.
this is a new angle to, he said she's from Bombay because we were trying to find out. Seeing between me
Yeah.
and Peter, we were also equally concerned. Who's this guy? She's vanished straight. Oh,
Yeah.
wants to run away. See, you have to understand she had 40,000 cash with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now these guys this is our head of crime branch. He's giving reports as to where the
Yeah.
satellites are catching.
Okay.
So she was definitely at the domestic airport at about 11 in the morning. That she's
Okay.
confirmed. Okay, and before that, she's had a
Okay.
1-hour conversation with a guy called Nishant Khurana.
Mm.
So I said I will ask her boyfriend just now if he knows of any Nishant Khurana.
I don't.
So that is what it is.
I
Neither
I
time
don't.
this is the first time.
Yeah. I think
And
maybe.
I'm so sorry for screaming at you.
Yeah, me
because I'll tell
too.
you
Me
something.
too. I'm just
Sorry,
concerned. I
because
think.
what she told me, I asked, I said, where is Rahul? This thing, Rahul. He said Rahul was his number, and he's, of course, they've identified, this thing as, whatever, that you all live somewhere in Marol Naka,
Yeah,
in some
yeah,
area of
yeah.
Vijayanagar. So they
Yeah.
traced everything. They traced down everything. So he said
Good.
that she was in Bandra somewhere, and Bandra, and then, from Bandra, after that, she was at the airport. So
Indrani,
so
what
that
it
is
seems,
what-
it seems Sheena is not playing her own game, but it seems Sheena has kind of got a plan as to what she's doing. At least she knows, and she seems to be okay now.
No, but at least now we know that she's, gone somewhere or
Yeah.
she's with somebody.
Yeah. That's
At
cool.
least we are not feeling like fools. All of us are not sitting and fighting here, no?
Yeah, correct. I'm also sorry
At
for
least, like-
shouting and screaming at you and getting worked up. It's
No.
not.
Okay, I'm taking it that maybe she has had some kind of communication with Mr. Bharti.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
Seems
you're
like
thinking?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I guess we're gonna find out about Nishanta.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I
Let's
did
keep
have a
rolling.
question for you.
Oh yeah, okay.
When he says this, and I think there's going to be more about this topic that Rahul says, where Sheena may be playing games with all of us or something to that effect. Do you
Right.
think that's a tactic that he's trying to work with them, or do you think he's genuinely buying into that?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really think he's completely buying it.
Okay.
But I imagine a guy who is twisted around pretty well here now.
Mhm.
I kind of feel that, see, he got information. If this is about communication back from Bharti, that would give somebody a kind of sense of relief. Like, okay,
Hmm.
they did do what they said they were going to do. There's some
Right.
information back. Now,
Right.
earlier he was saying that he needs to hear from her himself. I don't
Yeah.
want to rely on anyone else, because he makes that point
Mhm.
to Peter, right? Here again, I have
Mhm.
to take your word for it. Now,
Yeah.
it's very confusing to me that he has switched his tactic, if it is a tactic, or that he's changed his
Mhm.
mind. Now, is it because they've actually seemingly followed up on, tracking her down?
Yeah.
Or has something happened on his side, right, that we don't
Yeah.
know about between the two calls, where he's
Yeah.
feeling a little bit like the best move is to just kind of go along with everything? What do you think?
I think he's really with it in the sense that he'll make the distinction that it's not her being found, it's her phone. or it's not her emailing, it's somebody who has access to, like, he's able to separate that really well. Like, somebody has access to her email account, they're emailing. But in this moment, I agree with you. I think it's possible that he's been twisted so much. And he also has some confirmatory evidence, like when Indrani says that her home address came back as Marol Naka. So where he can actually confirm that, yeah, okay, they are doing their homework because they have the right address for me and my home with Sheena. So I think
Mhm.
it might seem like there are efforts being made because she is giving evidence of locations that he can
See,
confirm.
I don't know that area. When that came up, I was thinking, where is that?
It's in Andheri,
Yeah. See, I
Marol
I
Naka.
had yeah, I'm not that I did not recall. I don't remember hearing that before. So, yeah, that would be sort of confirmatory for sure then.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Uh I think it's a bit confusing, but yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a point on, he feels that they have done something. Because obviously he
Yes.
was reluctant in the previous call to give a home address or any
Yeah.
specifics.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very good point to raise in general. I also thought it's quite a dramatic change from the previous phone call.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
suddenly we're hearing about Nishant and all of this. So I think it might
Yeah.
be confusing for people. That's why I just wanted to say I think they must have spoken
Mm.
to Mr. Bharti and did what was able to kind of track some phone information.
Yes.
Now, whether all the information being presented is what he said is another thing altogether.
Yeah.
So that I guess
Yeah.
we'll
And
have
then
to
this,
see.
yeah. And there's also like a human moment here where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, I screamed at you. I'm sorry, I screamed at you. So maybe that, melts him a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that would be another sign that he was kind of thinking, okay, maybe I'm over the top. Maybe I've been
Yeah.
too hard on them. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. All right, so
Okay.
ready to jump ahead?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what they say.
Okay.
No, same here, sweetheart, same here. And you don't know my relief, the moment,
Me too.
I heard this. It is more that, okay, she's taken a flight and gone somewhere, finished. Now, at least we are not. You want to quickly speak to Papa?
Yeah.
1 second.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just talk to him. He's also saying sorry to us.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
So there's a name and some detail on this conversation. So a long conversation
Okay.
and our conversation.
Good morning.
And so as and when more information comes through, we will get a handle on. They'll have a handle on that number, obviously.
Yeah.
Who that
Cool.
person is.
Cool. As long as she's all right, isn't she? So.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. So and so we thought we'd call you right away. So as soon as we hear any more, I'll let you know.
Alright. Okay. Cool. Well, at least I can deal with my thing now. That's cool.
Sorry?
I said at least I can deal with my own thing now. In my head. I
Yeah, you can do
understand
your
it.
own thing in your head.
I
Exactly.
can move on from
Yeah.
this and kind of work out my own thing.
Mm.
And I'm sorry for getting worked up with you as well, but I really, I don't know
Sorry, we didn't get
who
to
is
see.
what and
Sorry,
what is
yeah,
who and all
sorry.
that.
Who's doing what? You know?
Mm.
The only thing you can hear her in the background speak, she's feeling terribly sorry and, because, you never know anything who's holding out for whom,
Mm.
Nagpur was a complete red herring that means.
Yeah.
So Nagpur is mostly.
Not put it there, clearly.
What do you think she means by that? Nagpur
That
is
Nagpur was
a red herring.
Didn't she bring it up?
Yeah, I mean okay, if she's guilty, right? She has
Yeah.
just successfully changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that plan went south. I've got to move quickly. I've got to get this going in a different direction because there's no Bentley to find in Nagpur. So I got to shut that down because Peter has bragged that it'll only take him a couple minutes to figure out who's got the Bentley in Nagpur. So I would say this is, if I'm Indrani and I have guilty knowledge, I just changed the game. What do you think?
That's a great point. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she would be in a completely different mindset. Like, okay, whew, yeah, all right. I can also say, yeah, I'm sorry, sweetheart. All of that.
Yeah. Right.
Because
Especially
it's
when
like,
it's working.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
worked. Thank God. Okay. And now I can use my plan going south to put onto Sheena,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
2 birds, 1 stone. That's
Ah,
Sheena's
devious.
red herring. It's not my red herring.
Right.
So all
That's
that
exactly what I was
confusion.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I I just okay. It's really interesting change of landscape.
Tune. Yeah. Yeah, because nothing comes from her. Everything comes
Mhm.
from other people. So it's like Sheena misled us. This red
Yeah.
herring is because of Sheena.
Right.
She like threw us this bone that isn't really going anywhere. She's the one who's misleading us, and look at us, we're fighting. But
Right.
actually, she's taken a flight, or her phone has taken a flight from the domestic airport.
Right.
Now like the entire country is open for whatever recce that Rahul wants to do. It's not just Nagpur.
Right. Now I'm freed up from that one. So as we
Yes.
roll along here, if something else comes up, I'm no longer married to Nagpur. I
Yeah.
can change the game altogether and pick any spot. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Without a
And
Bentley.
yep. And now successfully she's managed as well the idea that Rahul has his own head to deal with, right? His own
Yeah.
heartbreak. And that's where she
Yeah.
always wanted him, right? Caught
Yeah.
up in his own emotions. So
Mm.
it's a job well done. What a difference a phone call makes.
Seriously.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Okay.
Poor
So,
thing.
there you go.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well,
Oh well.
there's some fellow told me something. So anyway,
Yeah.
he's got a few things to learn.
Hey?
I think he has a few things to learn about, what
Yeah.
he's getting into. So there you go.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did you hear that? Kind of threw her under the
Yeah.
bus, right? Wow, that kind of just shocked me.
Has- His laughter and his comment shocked me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. You mean threw Sheena under the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I thought you meant Indrani. Yeah.
no. Like
Yeah.
yeah, now it's this new guy's problem. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Like he's just said that yeah, he'll have
Yeah.
her to deal with now and all
Yeah.
the headaches that come with her. Okay.
Yeah. He should
Again, a
know what
little
he's getting
peek.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a little peek into Peter's view onto Sheena. So kind of
Wow.
that no love lost.
Yeah.
Okay. I
That's
couldn't
heartbreaking.
not stop.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just
No, I'm
too
with
much.
you.
It's like crazy. Okay, here we go.
Anyway, let's see what happens.
Let's see.
Let's see.
But you don't worry about it anymore. Try not to worry about it.
No, I'm gonna.
What you have to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I gotta do now, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on with your stuff. You plan your life. That's what important, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
at least you know. I think there's a
again,
big sense of relief. I tell you.
if these now that I've heard all this, I kind of am starting to believe, yeah, all right, these messages must have or may have come from Sheena herself. So if that's the case, then in a few months time, maybe we'll chat and get some closure, finally and all that. But if not, then
yeah, exactly. Meantime, just do something with yourself.
Yeah, I know. Oh wow.
Yeah, well, there you go. You see.
Do you think he feels foolish, Rahul?
Rahul?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't see that coming. That's how I took that. Oh wow, as
Yeah. Kind
what
of
a twist.
maybe, that this language sounds more like he is buying into it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to just go back 10 seconds because it seemed
Sure.
like they were just about to say something when I paused. But
Sure.
yeah, this little bit here seems like, yeah, he really is on board with this story.
Yeah. He bought it.
Yep. Hang on.
Yeah, well, there you go. These things happen.
Hmm.
I was telling you the other day, I said, you got to grow up as in, the world is a funny place.
Hmm. Clearly. And not as in
But
funny,
telling,
haha, as in funny, as in. Eh?
No, not funny, haha. Not funny, haha. It's funny as in odd, unusual, different. And, these are things that happen, yeah. These are things that happen in life, I think. And very often it's the person, as I say, the closest person is the last to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still don't know whether they're in a relationship, whether they're friends or what. So I'm not gonna totally close
You can't assume
close anything, but
they just be friends. But you got to assume that assume the kind of the worst. Yeah. If you're talking to somebody for an hour and you don't know who that guy is, you got to believe that something happening.
No, not necessarily. I mean, you talk to friends. I was just, you talk to friends for lengthy periods if there's something going on, if there's something you need to.
Yeah, but you don't know who that friend is. No, that's my point.
Perhaps. I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to sort of start thinking about all of that. I'm going to still wait to hear from her. Eventually, like you say, she won't stay incommunicado forever, right? There will come a time when we'll get some discussion.
Exactly. There will come a time when this thing will, it may take weeks, may take months. But at least we know that this, we read that it's not that she's kind of, being abducted and thrown into a cellar and, all that kind of stuff.
God, thank God, yeah.
Yeah. But you don't want to be in that sort of situation.
Yeah.
So that's the concern factor. You give yourself some mental rest if you can. But where are you now?
I am in Bandra at the moment.
In where?
Bandra.
Oh, in Bandra. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get something to eat, don't go hungry, and
I will now. Yeah.
Just hang on a sec. Please get to that. All right.
Hello, Rahul.
Hi.
Hi. Actually, can you seriously just go and get some rest? And, I think that's a better thing to do. There's nothing. I think we should probably, anyway, I don't know who the Kishan guy is, whatever. We see now, I'm very sure. Nothing much to really, if she's taken a flight and gone somewhere, then there's nothing much one can do, Rahul.
Yeah, no, I look, I don't want to do anything. Anyway, I can understand if she's finished with me and all that, she wants to move on, that's cool, that's her own thing. But I just needed to know that she was okay. You suddenly disappear.
Yeah.
Then I'm obviously here caring for her and worrying about her so much, then it leaves me in a complete state.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. In fact, we also got very, very, I was all right till morning, I didn't think about it because, she gave me some Nagpur bullshit. Now, it's a completely different, there is no Nagpur at all. Now there's a completely different guy. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I think we should all have a good night's sleep now and rest and just, start the morning fresh and, carry on what else to do.
Yeah.
And not file a FIR, police report, for a missing person.
Yeah. And not go looking for her.
And not go looking for her now because
she's taken
know.
Yeah, now it's impossible to find her. She's taking a flight.
She's with another guy. God knows where. Some guy that you've never heard the name of before.
Right. Yeah. And assume the worst because she was on the phone with him for an hour.
Yeah. But isn't it interesting how Rahul's not quite that fast. Not so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel his guard
he still
comes
has some
up.
hope.
Yeah. Like I feel like his guard comes up every time she gets on the phone because she reinforces what she wants to reinforce, but his father is more Like, okay, what are you going to do? I mean, obviously, he has a better relationship with his father than he does with Indrani, but I feel like his guard comes up as soon as she gets on the phone. It's like, now what is she going to say? That's just my impression.
Well, he did correct Peter too, when he said that,
Assume the worst.
Assume the worst. And also, he was like, Rahul was like, just because you talk to someone for an hour doesn't mean you're not friends. So
Right.
he didn't quite go along with that with Peter also. So whether that's his guard up or just that is who he is,
To me, it sounds like if Indrani had said that, he would have just let that go because he doesn't have to listen to what she says. Unless she said something
True.
like, give me your home address, then it's
Right.
like, I'm going to push back because I don't want to give that information. But if she was
Right.
giving him advice, he would just like turn a deaf ear because she's talking. But with his father, I feel like he'll make that effort to correct because he cares.
Good point.
That's
Good
just my
point.
impression.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
She's all right. She's cool. She'll be all right, I guess.
Yeah, she'll be all right. She'll get by all right, and tomorrow I think I'll inform her office people also. So what else to do? There's nothing much to.
Ooh. Another bird.
All right. Well, you take care, and I will speak to you guys
No,
later.
you too. You too. Okay.
All right.
Bye then.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Another phone call.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
Where are you?
I'm just having dinner at a restaurant. Veg restaurant.
Well done.
Saturday.
Oh, good. All right, darling, listen, quickly. Indrani just told me what you asked her for, which is the number of this, the telephone number for this Mr. Corona.
Yeah.
And she was about to call, in fact.
Hold up.
Yeah.
I think Rahul has been sitting in a Bandra eatery thinking this through, and he's like, yeah, give me that number for that guy.
Yeah. Yes. He's not dropping it just yet.
No. And you can
I love
imagine.
this.
Yeah, you can imagine what these two are. So he obviously texted, right?
Yes. Casually.
And now
slipped
Peter's
in.
back on the phone, not Indrani.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see where this goes. Okay.
Yeah.
She called Devin Bhatti.
Yeah.
And he hadn't picked up the phone, but I said, who are you calling, Devin? She said, yeah. Why? I said, this is what Rahul wanted to know. So I said, listen, please don't.
No, I need to verify. I won't call. Just give me the first 6 digits. I don't want the whole number because I need to verify with, about this fellow.
No first 6 digits anymore. Don't be stupid, Rahul.
Why am I being stupid? Anyone could have been speaking on the phone, huh?
No, for God's sake. Now listen, I've got to this point of giving you this information. You take it and do what you think. After this, I can't give you any more detail on what this chap is. Right, his number or his 6 digits of his number or anything. I'm not going to ask this guy. The guy's doing it for me. He's giving me his word. He's a senior police guy. I'm not asking him to give me first 6 digits of his number. I want to verify.
You don't have to tell him that, right?
You think I'm mad? What?
That's a long pause. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, you can understand Peter's point. I can.
Yes.
At least. He's like, I can't go questioning this guy. Like, now I'm going to verify your work. It is quite possible, isn't it, that the man would take offense? Such senior officers kind of typically are like that. What do you think?
That was a little tough for me to understand in the sense. So if he just wants the six, and I think we'll find out more about this, but if he just wants the 6 digits, not to verify the cop's work, but to cross check something on his end, I think that
Right.
would be a valid ask. Like, how I'm just trying to think, how would those 6 digits put the cop in a place where his work is being doubted? I get Peter's point of not wanting to keep bothering somebody who's doing you a favor anyway. And you're like, okay, now give me this, now give me that. Like, you don't want to keep going back and asking for more and more favors to somebody who's so senior. But it's like, it's just, why would he get offended? Is what I'm trying to understand. What do you think?
Well, again, you have a senior officer. Presumably, if the information that is being given here is correct,
Mm-hmm.
he's taken his own personal time. This really isn't police business per se at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
You call back and you say, "Hey, can you give me that number? But hey, don't give me the full number."
Mm-hmm.
Even if you said, "Okay, can you give me that number?" The senior officer is going to be like, now we're sort of crossing into using the police information that they've gotten for personal
Mm-hmm.
purposes. So from that point of view, now it's like getting into a different problem, because presumably they want the number because they want to call, or
Yeah.
there's the potential to call. So now we're getting into presumably 2 consenting adults having a conversation, and it sort of
Mm-hmm.
reveals that the information has come from what could only be,
Mm.
a police informant, if you will, because you
So,
can't
like,
get that
privacy issue.
information any other way. Yeah, it's
Right.
kind of like, now if I give you that number, I have to trust that you're not going to use that number in such a way that
Mm-hmm.
right, that you're crossing a line.
Yeah.
All I'm doing here is verifying that it seems as if that she's alive and well.
Right.
That's the ask, that we're worried
Yeah.
about her, worried that she's not somewhere, against her will, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if a police officer
Mm-hmm.
sees that there's an hour-long phone call,
Mm-hmm.
now things kind of go into a direction in which I think that a senior officer would start to feel like now this is no longer a favor. This is like getting used or doing something out of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of can understand what Peter's saying. Such a senior officer, you want to keep those kinds of relationships smooth and not say, we don't believe you, that we're going, so
Mm.
there's 2 issues there, right? Like, we don't believe that this is actually true. We're questioning its validity. That is one way a senior officer could take that. But the senior officer could also see, oh boy, this whole family is gonna now raise hell. There's gonna
Yeah.
be drama, and we can't. We're not here to facilitate, a broken engagement.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in 2 minds. But what I find interesting, and I know this is kind of a pivot, but what I find interesting is that, why is it that Rahul would only want the first 6 numbers? Like, if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get the number, why not get the number? So what is it that Rahul has
Yeah.
in his possession where 6
Mm-hmm.
numbers would be enough? Isn't that
We'll
kinda
find
weird?
out.
Maybe he
Yeah.
has his
Yeah.
phone bill or something? Maybe he's found her phone bills in the flat or something? I don't know.
We will we will
Find
find
that
out
out?
why he's asking. Yeah, we
Okay.
will.
So should
But
we just jump back in? But okay.
I was just gonna say that privacy issue I get. Uh
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, privacy is becoming a bigger deal now in India in 2012. Maybe not so much, but I can see a cop being iffy about it, because if it ever comes back to him how this family got the number of this random person, then they could trace it back to him, and then he gets into trouble or whatever. But also there was this time that people used to get itemized bill at home,
Correct.
itemized bills. So
Mhm.
Rahul could potentially see the number there. But anyway, I guess that's
Well, yeah,
legal
that's
by
what I'm
someone
saying.
else.
That isn't likely what he has gone and done. You know, looking for some information on a previous phone bill of Sheena's.
Yeah.
Or he might have even stopped, you know, while he's in Bandra. Could have just stopped into one of the phone shops, right? Of the provider and started asking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe ask somebody. I won't I won't do any
Yeah,
further
yeah.
research. We'll find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No question of it. Absolutely not.
Right. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Well, it has to be. Well, what am I going to do? Argue with you, and you'll keep saying no, and I'll keep arguing.
No, it's not arguing, darling. I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you a point of view. I'm telling you my position. I'm not going to ask him. I've gone this far to find out details because I wanted to make sure for your sake, for our sake, everybody's sake, that she was secure in her, you know, that she's had a communication with somebody, and therefore, which sort of vindicates our theory of that she's gone off, you know, in a certain same date and time and blah blah blah. No way to verify that other than to get the details.
There is a way to verify that. That is that this chap, Papa, his name is known to me, okay, through her friends. I haven't told you, but he is known to me through her friends. So if I can get part of the number, then I can verify with her friends whether it's the same chap.
Listen, it's a bit of a coincidence.
Whoa. So he played dumb?
Yeah. Even as he was buying what they were selling. That's pretty smart.
Okay, so does that mean that he really wasn't buying at all? Well, I mean, we don't need to belabor this, but pretty interesting. So why do you think, let's go to the direct issue. Why do you think he didn't say he knew who it was?
I think he probably wanted to see how it would play out. It's like, to me, it seems like he took what was being told to him in the previous call, that she's taken a flight with and this Nishant Khurana angle. And then if he has a moment to himself to think about it and actually try to make sense of it, I think the picture becomes clearer to him. So in that moment, he may have half bought it, but somewhere he was still like, okay, hold this close to your chest. Don't tell them that you know this Nishant Khurana guy. Do your investigation. But this could be a reasonable argument that she's taken a flight and gone somewhere.
So do you think he's already called Nishant?
I think he's talked to her friends about this guy.
Right, but then why doesn't he just ask the friends for his phone number? If he doesn't have the number, because now it's like we're understanding, okay, so he did know who this person was. Maybe he didn't have his phone number, but he knew people who did. So why not take the number right off the friends? And maybe he's done it, you know.
Yeah. I could see that two ways. Either he's done it and the guy said that, I don't know, like she's not talked to me. We barely know each other, or we know each other really well. I've not seen her, any of that. Or he's asked her friends and they've been like, okay, this is his number. He doesn't want to call the guy right away, but he wants to cross check with what the cop has, what the Even Bharti has, to see if it's the same number before he actually jumps the gun and calls Nishant Khurana. What do you think?
Well, it's kind of interesting because it's either a test to see whether or not they have actually spoken to this guy. You know, I mean, it's quite possible that when he heard that name, he went like, okay, I do know that person. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to see what else is said, in which case he didn't buy any of it. I'm going to follow up with this. Maybe this is actually a possibility. Let me talk to some people I know. He might have even spoken to the guy, and now he is saying, okay, let's see whether they actually have that number. In which case I know whether they've spoken to Bharti or not. Now, from the other side, this gets interesting because from their side, meaning Peter and Indrani's, right? We've given a name. You know, again, if there's some kind of conspiracy here, you know, we've given a name. Now, maybe this is a name that Indrani knows and is just shooting it up into the air and you know, like throwing it against the wall and seeing if it sticks, and gets this whole thing shut down, gets the missing report delayed, et cetera, et cetera. But now it's like, what do you do if you have not, whether Indrani has said, okay, you know, Peter, I'll call Bharti and talk to him, right? Or whether Peter actually did. We don't know, like whether it was both of them or one of, you know, Indrani. And then they say, you know, if Indrani hasn't done that and she's just picked a name out of the hat, right, of this person that she knows Sheena knows, then it's like she can't verify the number necessarily, correct? In other words, if the CBI thing is not true, and Indrani's just having fake conversations like she potentially has with Sheena, she's just talking into her phone all the time. You got to get this image of her speaking loudly so Peter can hear. Then this is a very smart move on Rahul's part. Anyway, I suppose we're going to find out potentially in the next few minutes. I don't know if you can hear Oscar. He's starting to
snoring. That's what I was trying not to get distracted. I was like, is that Oscar snoring?
Yeah, that's the
so
mascot
cute.
catching some Z. Okay,
We're getting
let's
woke
just
up
see.
here.
Yeah, let's just see where this goes. It's getting interesting.
Yes.
I
just wanted to say that, you know, no, I just wanted to say that I think Indrani underestimates Rahul because she comes up with these ideas that are very easily verifiable, like Nagpur and now Nishant Khurana. And then it's like she realizes that if she's guilty, then she realizes that these can be verified by Rahul and he is leaning that way. And then, you know, the backtrack and obfuscating starts to happen. It's really interesting.
Well, it's really interesting too, because she thinks after the last call that it's been put to bed. So it's like, cool, I can relax. And then she gets this text message. You're just trying to imagine it. So I don't know if he texted. It sounded like he texted Indrani. So that's really interesting too, right?
Yeah.
That he texts for this. He's texting her directly, like, okay, I'm calling your bluff. Potentially, you know, and it's like, oh boy. And then suddenly what happens? Phone call from Peter.
Yeah.
Like, now why do you want this? I thought we had this settled, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use a random guy. Why does it have to be somebody she knows? Anyway.
Interesting. I don't know, because it has to be believable, I guess.
Yeah.
But I see that she over knits. In other words, she over embroiders quite frequently, and it gets her in trouble every time. We saw it in some of the other phone calls where she just goes one sentence too long, and then it just kind of she gets the blowback. So anyway, all right, let's see what happens.
Okay.
It's a bit of a coincidence if this fellow's name is
that's also what I thought.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a coincidence for me to pick out that name out of a hat and tell you, no?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I have no idea. I've never heard of his name before. And if I've given you this name, and this is what has been told to me, and I've shared that with you, you got to take that much at face value that I wouldn't have picked up this name out of a phone book and given it to you, right?
You know, that's very damning.
Say more.
Yeah. I mean, that just hit me in a weird way. So what I'm trying to articulate, and my mind is spinning because I don't want to make something of it that isn't there. But I would say that that little bit right there, I didn't pick the name out of a hat.
Yeah.
That would be suggestive of these guys are in it together, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So if we were
And goes
thinking
to your
before, Peter, if we were thinking before that Peter may not know all of the shenanigans going on and
Mhm.
he's been kept out of it, that just,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it also goes to your previous point that they wanted to make it more believable, which is why they would, if they're guilty, then they would pick somebody who she knows to make it sound more believable. They didn't pick a random guy out of her hat.
I just want you to know that I'm sort of rubbing my head at this moment, like trying to think, going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of,
But why even
feeling.
say that? Like, why say that? Like, who's telling you that you are to be blamed? Like, why is he taking in the sense that he's being blamed for bringing up this name and he has a
Exactly.
valid basis? Who's even questioning that? He's not even Rahul is not even on that train.
Well, that just shows me
Why?
how smart Peter is, though, because he's seeing it exactly like that. He's seeing through his son, right? That's evidence to me that he's seeing through his son. He's like, you're not questioning Bharti, you're actually questioning that I'm doing the required here. I didn't just pick this name out of the air. I mean, I can see it. It's like he's seeing right through his son. That's just my opinion, not saying
I
that
do
that
get
is
that.
conclusive.
Right, because also the previous conversations have been like subtly accusatory, so I can understand why Peter would think like that, even
Mm-hmm.
with this guy. But it's to me, it also sounds like a genuine request. I just want to verify it's the same guy. So while I get the whole Bharti aspect, he might get offended. There's privacy issues. I can't ask. I get that, but it also is at the same time an innocent, genuine ask. I just want to make sure she's okay. Just want to cross check it's the same guy. That's it. So why take it so personally? Like Peter's involved and he's done something and he's not making this up.
See, I think that Peter as a father, and again, this is on the basis of very little, but it seems like he's pretty consistent that he is the authority figure, and it's like you're questioning my veracity, you're questioning my authority also. I don't know, he seems quick to be the person who is saying, you know, like, you're
Don't
not
cross me.
handling this well. Like, it's a competency issue, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't seem to like to be questioned on his competency in I'm an action guy and I know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you're questioning my decision making and my ability to discern. I don't know. I think we have to keep going to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I couldn't help having a pause there because I thought, oh boy, that's pretty damning. If
Yeah.
not just
That's
picking this name
Oscar.
out of a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm really laughing because of Oscar. That's really funny.
Yeah. Is it really loud?
No, it's cute.
Oh,
We can
poor
use
Oscar.
that
Yeah.
listening to these calls.
He's like, I'd be falling asleep too, I mean, Indrani makes me, tired.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
it. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't choose not to believe that, then you can do whatever you like.
Right.
Enjoy your dinner.
I just have to take your word for it again.
You
It's the same
take my
thing.
word for it. That's enough.
And anyway.
See, I've told you, been telling you this for some time. I've validated it for you. I have given you a name which has been given to me.
Yeah.
And by the senior most police officer in the city when it comes to crime.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the head of crime. So, that's it.
Okay.
And And why would I make up a name? And if I make up a name, will it be the same name that you have?
It's not about who said anything about making up a name. Who said anything about making up a name?
No,
Look, if you've got, if anyone has, if anyone listen to me, no, listen to me, no.
He told me what time the call. He's given me the name. He told me what time the call was made and for how long the duration is, which means that he has got access to the detail of the phone conversations from the phone service provider. Okay, or from some computer, whatever.
Okay.
Now for me to go and ask him, say, boss, can you give me his number because I need to just do something.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'll wait.
You think I don't trust him?
I'll wait. Okay. When when you get these details through, please pass on some of it to me so that I can do my own verification. I'm not gonna, if it's over, it's over. I'm not gonna get in touch with her. I just want to know for sure.
Yeah, no, okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it's tomorrow, if it's on Monday or whatever, then
Whenever, no. But even if I do get the number, darling,
yeah,
I don't want to give you the number. Okay. He may not give us the number. He's going to give us some more details tomorrow. Right? I don't know what details it will be.
Well, I thought you were going to get all the information. That's what Indrani was saying. You're going to get all the details.
No, we get all the information from him with regard to all the calls made, etc. I don't. So until it arrives, I don't know what's in it. No?
Yeah.
So, but I can tell you this. The minute we heard, we called you. And what we told you is what we heard. This is the name given to us. This is the thing. That fellow has no reason. Doesn't know you, doesn't know Sheena. He has no reason to bullshit to us. And give us a name that is just out of the hat.
Yeah.
And you can think it your eyes whatever you like now. I'm not asking him for the digits. Let me tell you.
There you go. It's the same thing. Anyway, all right. Thanks for your help, man.
All right, darling.
Really, honestly.
See you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Love you. I'm sure enough, when I came home last night, I think I had temperature.
New phone call.
Really? Oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah, I had some distress last night and then some distress this morning. I'm just kind of recovering, really.
Okay. So where are you now? Are you in Goa, in Bombay, or what?
No, in Goa.
Okay.
Our flight is now at 4 o'clock. So we reach Bombay at about, I guess, 5-ish.
Yeah, cool.
Something like that. And, we should go. I think so. I want to be quite nice to catch up before we leave tomorrow.
Yeah. What time is it?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I also want to say we're clearly not on the same day for this phone call. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm hoping that something in the call would reveal, but obviously we're not on the Saturday after Sheena has disappeared. So I'm hoping that we get a sense of how many days later this phone call is.
Yeah. Because he was having dinner the night before, and now they're talking about the flight.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so. I want to be quite nice to catch up before we leave tomorrow.
Yeah. What time is it? What time are you going tomorrow?
Well, it's early. The flight's at 9:15 or something.
Okay.
Which means we have to be at the airport by about 7 o'clock latest.
You still drunk? By any chance?
I'm actually drunk.
Yeah.
No, not drunk. I'm just lying in a funny position. My throat is a bit.
Sounds like you're not in a swimming pool.
No, I'm not anywhere near the pool. I'm lying in bed.
Okay. I was just, I can hear sound. I thought I could hear a splash in the background just now.
No, it's not splash. I'm lying in bed watching TV.
Okay. Anything good?
No, news.
So
it's I'm killing. Hey, can you hear the news? See?
Wow, you turned up.
I'm not in the pool. I wanted to be in the pool, but I don't think I should be with temperature and whatnot.
The discipline's not helping, or?
Yeah, the string's all right. It's kind of brought it down now. It's gone below normal.
Okay.
So I'm feeling a bit sort of, I'm just feeling pretty lazy, and I haven't gone down and dump yet. So I'll do that now. In a little while. Wake up, get changed, shower. So I'll feel better.
You think about this, Rahul probably can't sleep, can't relax.
Yeah.
You know, he's going out of his mind, and he's got to listen.
Yeah.
I'm feeling bad for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's also like his concern for his father is also clear, and like he's like, oh, the medicine that you took is not working. Like he's genuinely
Yeah, did he
concerned.
disappearance?
Yeah, he said disappearance. Yeah.
Right. So how would you describe that for people who don't know what disappearance is?
It's like a Tylenol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think aspirin is like aspirin.
Aspirin. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it clear. So it's kind of funny
Yes.
because it's almost like he's worried about blood pressure or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said now it's gone too low.
Yeah. Weird. I mean, weird as in,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just found it interesting. That's all I can say. It's like a, kind of a U-turn in the relationship suddenly. Like, okay, let's get on to something else. And I am worried,
Yeah.
whatever else is happening, he wants to show concern for his father. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, had a long chat with Robin last night.
Oh, you talk to Robin, real good.
Yeah. I believe you sent him the same. I believe you sent him the same Avengers message. Nice.
7 out of 10.
That's Rahul's brother, for people who don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him ever since I came here. I haven't spoken to him ever since I got here.
Yeah, he seems alright. I'm just thinking about what to do next, but he seems alright.
Oh, yeah. How's he saying that? How did his interview go?
I think he's going to go and do it today, or he's going to go and talk to them about it today. I don't think he's necessarily had it yet.
Oh, it didn't happen on Friday?
He didn't mention if it did, so...
Okay. What did he say? He didn't make his job on Friday then?
I don't know. You'd have to speak to him. I don't know. I don't want to give you the wrong information, so I don't know.
I'll speak to him. Yeah. Well, listen, shall I see you at home?
Yeah, okay.
This evening? Will you come or?
Can do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, can do. What's going on? Something seems...
Nothing's going on, darling. Nothing. I thought it'd be good to catch up with you before we leave, that's all. Otherwise I won't see you at all.
Any more information from your crime branch people?
No, nothing at all. Nothing more. I haven't heard anything more from anybody.
Really? Head of the crime branch? It's not told you?
No, we haven't followed up either.
Oh. Okay, why not?
Well, because, that was, enough information that we needed. We didn't need any more information elsewhere.
Oh.
That's all.
Anybody could have spoken to this chap, no?
I'm sorry?
I said anybody could have spoken to this chap, no?
What do you mean?
Anyway, I don't know anymore.
What do you mean, anybody?
No, anybody can speak on a phone, right? You can't.
I don't understand what you mean.
I don't mean anything, Papa, don't worry. You genuinely don't know anything about
you don't think we spoke to him? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know. I don't know, do I? I'm not saying anything. I'm saying I don't know. I'm asking you.
Of course,
I'm asking
I am, darling. I told you. I'm not going to make up this story about speaking to him.
No, I'm
not going to make up a story about the name of the guy, for Christ's sake.
I'm asking you. You guys really, really, really don't know any more than that. So you don't actually know that she's okay. Because before you said to me that I can, I've spoken to people and I can quite sort of with some certainty say that as far as just as Vidya is fine and just as Robin is fine, she is also fine. But now you're saying you don't know, and that's all the information you have.
Yeah.
Well, which is it? isn't it?
No, the information I have is
Do you have anything to say?
So much.
Mm.
I want to just go back to something that happened before. So, like, to me, Rahul is very observant. There's no doubt
Mm.
about that. To me. But what I was going to ask you is his response for when Peter says, "So will you come home?" And his response is like, after just like checking why Peter's asking that, he's just like, "Why? Like, what's going on?" How did you take that? Why do you think that he took it? He said that.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and this is apropos of almost nothing in a way, but I can tell you that I feel very tense. This phone call is making me tense.
Hmm.
So that tells me something. Right
Okay.
there, there's some kind of information, and I'm just trying to sort it out. So we have a little dance going on
Okay.
here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am wondering, like Rahul. I mean, Peter does sound almost like drugged or something. He doesn't sound like he has been sounding. Now, he could just be
Mm-hmm.
fatigued, is true. But I'm
Right.
I'm I'm also kind of wondering what is happening that he sounds so fatigued. And there could be a million reasons for that, and there's nothing that I can hang my hat on. But I just wonder, does that mean that there's something else going on, just like in the way that Rahul's kind of asking, is there something? So I'm with
Mm-hmm.
Rahul in that he is sensing that there's something else, something more. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Rahul has a different point of view because he's the one in it and he's still not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm saying is it seems very nuanced and atmospheric in
Okay.
general,
Fair.
the call. And then, here's Indrani, the phone's ringing and you can hear her
Mm-hmm.
and you can almost feel like Rahul just be, you can almost
He's
imagine his
listening.
reaction. Like
Yeah.
he's trying to understand what that phone call is, but it's
Yes.
also just like this fatigue of every time they're talking, this woman is there.
Yeah.
And,
Eavesdropping.
and it almost feels like he's saying, listen, Dad, what do you know? What do you know? Have you told me everything? He's also
Yeah.
takes advantage of the fact that she's occupied, in my opinion.
Yes.
Now that could be
Yeah.
stretching, but I find it very weird what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think other things too, but I just am not quite sure what to think at this moment. Complete, like where I feel that there's more conclusions that can be drawn. What
Mm-hmm.
are you thinking?
I agree with you. I think there's definitely like something weird in the
Something,
interaction.
right?
It almost seems like there was an interaction before this that maybe made things weirder. But also,
Mhm.
just to play devil's advocate for a minute, low blood pressure can make somebody fatigued and sound sluggish and
Yes. Right.
all of that. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it, with
Well, it's
Peter's
certainly
behavior.
what Peter puts up. Um,
Right. He could also be drunk,
I,
like Rahul said,
yeah, I mean, I think
or
it
drugged.
sounds more like that to me than low
Yeah.
blood pressure, but then who knows?
Who knows? Because you can take a Disprin or an aspirin for a hangover. So yeah, who knows?
Right.
But yeah,
And it's weird.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's weird.
And then it's, we're not going to follow up. So,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we're not going to follow up. What's there to follow up?
Right.
So, but there
Which is
seems
when
like
you
there's
can.
something preoccupying Peter, doesn't there? I mean, I know that's a stretch, but he doesn't seem like the Peter of the previous phone calls. And
Yeah.
maybe he's not feeling well. Okay, all that's there. But even Rahul seems to be not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not fully present, Peter.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
He
Move on to
really
the
doesn't
next
want to
thing.
talk about it anymore. Let's
Yeah,
push it a little
he's also,
further. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say he's also suspicious that Rahul is listening to Indrani in the background and that he's trying to like cover it up by
I didn't
asking
take it that way.
questions.
Interesting. That's
I don't think
interesting.
Indrani's saying
I didn't
anything.
take it like that way. That's interesting.
I don't think she was saying anything of consequence, but it's like,
No,
why are we
definitely
pausing
not.
to listening? Why are we pausing to listen to Indrani? Like, it was
Yeah,
also like, why
it's
do
a
you need
very
to?
spacious conversation. Like it's not
Yeah.
even there's a lot of space in this conversation, which heretofore has not been like that at all. It's been people talking
Mhm.
over each other. So suddenly we have a phone call in which there's a lot of silence.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe let's see what happens.
Yes.
That is what I passed on to you.
There seem, yeah.
The information what I have is what I passed on to you the other day, which is that, this is where,
So the other day, so we've got a few days here that in between calls. So we're getting that answer.
You think?
Well,
That could also
this
be
is
in the limbo.
what I told you, that information. I haven't. Let's go back a little bit.
It could be the lingo is what I mean.
It could be the what?
It could just be his way of saying like Indian lingo, like I told you the other day.
Ah, okay.
But
But it's
yeah,
not
it
the
could
same
also
day.
be not the same day. No.
Yes.
There seem, yeah.
The information what I have is what I passed on to you the other day, which is that, this is where, I understand this is where the information is that Sheena has been on a phone call with this person for a long time, over an hour or whatever, or almost an hour or something like that.
But wouldn't her phone have been engaged when I was trying to call her if that was the case? Come on, man.
There it is.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know.
You didn't think about that one, no, obviously.
Oh.
No. Well, it wouldn't have been engaged for.
Yes.
Oh. No, just
Yes.
like, oh, that was a jab.
That was a very astute.
Yeah. He actually
Wow.
didn't think about that one. That was wow. That felt like a jab to me.
Well, it's like, yeah, it was. It was also saying, if you expect me to buy this, like, if there's a guy on the phone for an hour, then why wasn't I able to reach her? Why?
Yeah, he would have gotten that engaged. Anyway,
Yeah,
he'll say
he's saying that he
obviously.
couldn't get through, right? So,
Right.
which is to suggest that the phone was off. So, what is this number in which this guy called? Yeah, here we go.
Perpetually, would it?
Well, it would have been engaged for that hour while I was talking, while I was trying, huh? At least.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well,
I mean, just hear me out. This story keeps changing, and there's something fishy going on. But I want to ask you something, right? I need you to be honest with me, right? Ask me. Because if I get to know later on down the line that you guys did know something about what was happening, then that'll really hurt me. That'll really.
Darling, I promise you, cross my heart, swear to die. Listen, cross my heart, swear to die. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not making up anything, and I'm not telling you anything that I do not know. What I'm telling you is exactly how it happened the day before yesterday, when I had 2-3 conversations with this guy, and he called back 2-3 times. Darling.
Had to just draw that out. So
yeah,
he did. So it is. He said the day before yesterday, right? So we got some timing on the call, and he said that they spoke a couple times to the guy, and then Rahul said, "You or Indrani?" Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Just really wanted to point that out. So having pulled that out and made a point of it, now it's it's clear in our minds, right?
Yeah.
Now we can listen with those ears to what is said next.
I think
I kind
I
of got
was there
stuck.
with Indrani.
Mhm. Sorry.
Sorry, I got stuck on something, and
Okay.
I always get stuck on this, which is
Oh.
he says, "I am not telling you anything that I do not know." How can you tell somebody something you don't know? Wouldn't the phrase be that I'm not telling you anything that I do know? This is the first time I've been able to figure out why I get stuck on that. It's such a weird phrase to use. You wouldn't tell somebody that you're telling them everything that you know using that phrase. I am not telling you anything that I do not know.
Well, I think what that means is that I'm not telling you anything I do not know, to me means I know this for fact. I have confirmed it. So I'm not telling you something that I don't have knowledge of. I do have knowledge. So
Right.
you can,
But
right?
Rahul's question is later down the line, I don't want to find out that you guys knew something that you guys didn't tell me. So
Hmm.
shouldn't his response be, I am not telling you anything that I know, that I already know. I'm disclosing everything. Why am I so confused about this?
No, I
Like the wordplay
I
is
took
just
it,
so.
yeah, and I took it just like I think Peter. So I understand what you're saying, but I think that Peter is saying, and yes, this could be some kind of odd Freudian slip. I can't
Yeah,
disagree with that, but I also think it's like, look, I have confirmed it. This guy has told me.
fair.
I've confirmed it. I'm not telling you anything that I don't know for sure. I know this for sure. But that could be
Okay.
me filling in Peter's blanks. you know, but
No, I think
but I
it
took it
makes sense.
exactly that way. So,
Okay.
but clearly we're in a conversation where there's a whole undercurrent. So everything, it's like what is said and what is unsaid.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot not being said, and Rahul is taking some shots at it of getting to the unspoken,
Yeah.
to
Yes.
try to bring it to the fore and evoke the information.
Yeah.
So I think he is taking his stabs at it. He does not want, he just finds it hard to believe everything, their
Yeah.
reaction, their lack of concern, their being satisfied with this guy's information,
Not following
taking
up.
it on the face,
Yeah.
not considering everything else. Now, if it's the day before yesterday, right? And that was a
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, right? So we're
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, Monday, right? We're getting close to the day that she actually disappeared. So it's almost working, this is like the 6th day she's gone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 All right, let's see. All we
Okay.
can do is press forward and see if we get more clues.
Yeah.
And I was there when I spoke.
Okay, I'm just going to back that up.
I think I was there with Indrani, and I was there when I spoke. I had 2-3 conversations with this guy. He called back 2-3 times. Darling, I was there with Indrani, and I was there when I spoke. I was on a speakerphone, like I was phoning with you.
Yeah.
I was there, and we were, our flat in Goa is not very long. I mean, it's not a big flat. So, we were sitting in the room together, and we were talking, and we were making calls, we were talking to you. I thanked him myself.
Yeah. Cool.
I thanked him. I called him and I said, listen, Darren, thank you for doing this for us at such short notice, and so on. So it's not some fictitious character and some fictitious name that we kind of come up with.
I know.
I don't know this Charlie from Adam. Okay?
Yeah.
So I neither is Nani. So it's not just your imagination is getting little bit inverted here. But to reassure you, that is exactly what happened. And I'm not, there's no question you finding out later on that, I knew something and I didn't tell you and all that. Don't worry about that.
Mm.
I'm sure you're thinking about it, no end, because, that must be playing in your mind right now, but that is not so. Huh?
I'm thinking of jumping off the top of the building, to be honest.
Don't do anything stupid like jumping off the top of the building. Listen, if you jump off the top of the building, you're the only, then if we come and beat you, but that's not the point. You'll be the only loser in this.
What you?
Okay.
What about us? Yeah?
What have I done to deserve that?
What have we done to deserve it?
You jump off.
That's the stage.
What?
That's the stage I'm getting to.
Hang on. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Rahul?
Yeah?
Hi. Listen, don't do anything stupid, Rahul, please. Please, don't do anything silly and...
If I don't know. I don't know what to do, what to think, what to say, or what. I don't know.
Nothing, darling. You don't have to do anything, think anything. People move on in life. This is not the first time, a breakup has happened. This is not the first time, Rahul. And you need to just, pick up your life and move on.
It's a bit difficult to do that on day 3 with so much sort of scandalous information, which I don't know which is which and what is what, and so many holes in this story and that story. It's very difficult for me to accept anything and just move on. If I have some kind of closure, then I can move on. But I can't. I'm not interested in if she doesn't want to be with me. That's fine. I'm not interested in continuing that relationship. If she doesn't want to be with me, she won't be with me. But I need to know, no?
Yeah, but
you must understand what I'm going through and why I need to know.
Of course you understand, Rahul. But, like I said, you can only... Now, you can't force somebody to, act in a particular manner. If somebody wants to break up in a particular way, that's probably her, way of breaking up, and that's it. If she's a lot of people, and Shangan Bora, like I said, did exactly the same thing. So it was no different.
Actually, Indrani, Shangan auntie was kind of also pressured into doing exactly that. She was sent away, and then she was forced to write a letter. And so it wasn't exactly like...
No, I can assure you about one thing, Rahul. I will assure you about one thing, and I will show you mails to that effect from Sheena, which actually, thankfully, I saved a few of the mails. Not saved, I didn't have time to delete, because we were just trying to go through some of, the emails and all those earlier ones. I deleted also. We normally don't keep every, email and every this thing and, But the last mail that Sheena had sent, if she told...
I'm really sorry, but I find that super sus. Why is she going into an explanation about her habits around the emails? I mean, nobody's asking her whether she keeps or deletes or what have you.
I took that as she caught herself as she was saying, I saved these. Because then that could suggest that she deleted others. So she's, over-explaining. So she comes across as she's innocent, doesn't have anything to hide. I'm still stuck on their response to him when he's like,
Say more. I mean, that's really a heavy moment, right? Like, I'm just...
Yeah.
I'm getting very affected by this phone call. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy is sounding like... He sounded there like he was really breaking down. And then I want to jump off the top of the building. And
Yeah.
it's all... all of that. And then, who gets on the phone to comfort him?
By saying, I'll beat you up.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
Which I
she's
get.
talking she's talking in the background, like, how do we deserve that now that you jump, right? Which is a very odd comment to me personally. They are still sitting in Goa, right? They have not
Yeah.
bothered to come back and console this boy. Um, I find that
Yeah.
pretty heartbreaking. I mean, I understand why he doesn't want to move out from Mumbai. I don't understand why they don't understand that he shouldn't be alone.
Yeah.
I don't and they're not disturbed to the degree that he is, clearly.
It's
And
another kind of breakup in their mind. Like how do you make sense of that? It's just another kind of breakup, as if it happens every other day. Not.
yeah, and there's some, and we discussed this before, but it's like, this is a non-relationship. This isn't even a real engagement.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is just what he should have expected. And I didn't understand when they brought up this other person. Did you follow that? No, I don't know.
No.
I mean, I don't know if that's like a family member or a family friend or someone in the news where they're forced to write a letter, apparently,
Yeah. Yeah.
breaking something off. I mean, but here she is, again, like I said, taking the thought one step too far. Like, all she had to do is get on the phone and say, Rahul, please don't do anything to harm yourself.
Yeah.
And, I'll
Genuinely.
let you see the emails. I mean, if you have to bring up the emails, which I don't understand why she is at all.
Right. Yeah.
Except for if she's saying, look, she's okay. I do have emails from her. I, how
Yeah.
hard is it to share those emails? Like, why do you have to wait to
Yeah.
get to Bombay to show these dang
Yeah.
emails? Just forward it to him.
Forward. Yeah.
Why is this we've got to meet with a printout and we got to meet in person for it? Just, a guy is wanting to jump off the building, give him the emails. But even
Yeah.
so, her mind goes to these emails.
Yeah.
I'm actually giving her the benefit of the doubt by saying, okay, maybe she's wanting to prove to him that, look, don't do something so drastic. I have emails.
Reassure.
She is
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But that's me giving the benefit of the doubt. But my true being is like, why are you talking about this email? Like,
Yeah.
why are you getting into deleting, not deleting, saving, not saving stuff? And to me, it's guilty conscience right there.
Yeah.
But that's
Yes.
me.
Big time.
It's a big reveal to me. And I am now like in the dark with these two. Well, let me rephrase that. There's something that's changed. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, so I'm not even going to bother to speculate. But this is
Yeah.
certainly a different. It's almost as if has Peter gotten into the know, quote unquote, the know, since
Mm-hmm.
a day and a half ago. Is there something he does know that he didn't know?
Yeah.
You know. So
They're on the same page.
I'm confused, and this is like that rubbernecking on the side of the road looking at the accident.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling right now. Like we're
Yeah.
rubbernecking now on this accident that's happened. And it keeps making me want to like hear more. But as we're going on in this
Yes.
phone call, I definitely feel more confused,
Yes.
and yet have more clarity simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So true.
Mm.
I do want to say this, like with mental health.
Yes.
As a student therapist, we see like I see clients, and if
Yes.
someone even remotely says
Exactly.
that they want to harm themselves, just harming,
Yes.
like if they scratch or any harm to themselves, let alone taking their own life, that's a huge deal. Some of it
course.
doesn't. Some of it doesn't translate to India. Like mental health is not. Is people are becoming more aware, but in 2012 it probably wasn't as big a deal. So maybe again, to give them the benefit of the doubt, they don't know how to handle somebody saying that they want to kill themselves or jump off the top of the building.
Hmm.
But this is definitely not. I would still be alarmed enough to want to comfort the person who's saying that to me. No, but
But
she's so
particularly if it's
insensitive.
his son, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And Peter gets off the phone. He doesn't even
I know.
he doesn't even
I
say
I
anything to his own
I'm
son.
shaking my head over here. Trust me.
Yeah,
When I
he
heard
can
that,
bust it off.
he he gave the phone over? Like
Even
my
if she's
head was
asking for
shaking.
it. Yeah, even if she's
Exactly.
asking for it, he should have at least like comforted his son, made sure that he's not going to do it, especially if he's alone. So I get that they may not know the best way to handle it because there wasn't enough awareness in 2012, but out of concern, you would at least spitball something to reassure your son to
But
not do
it's
that.
so revealing. So let's say, Peter doesn't have anything to hide here. Just for a moment. Let's suspend all of that conversation. I'm just shaking my head over here because his clear view on this thing is that a girl breaks up with you. And I've brought this up numerous times, at this point. But it's
Yeah.
such a reveal into what's the thing? It's, big deal. It's a woman that you've lost. So what? You love her. Forget about it. And yet he's running his whole relationship with his son through his marital partner. It, you know, e-
Yeah.
it is crazy. So it's like, why don't you take some of your own advice? Sorry, I'm gonna go into a rant, and I don't want to. I don't want to hold up
No, go for it.
no, I just don't want
Okay.
to hold us up further. But yeah, I mean, so this is just something I'm noticing about Peter, which keeps repeating itself.
Hmm.
But it, either he has a view onto women, in general, universally, that's like this,
Mhm.
or he really dislikes Sheena, or
Mhm.
he wants his son to not focus on women and get his act together. So and it could be all those things, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really don't want to rant. I just find it, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I feel speechless, and yet here I'm
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
But
No, I hear you.
yeah, I mean, this
It's
whole
that
thing doesn't
upsetting.
make sense. None of it
Yeah.
from start to finish. Now you have a guy
Yes.
they haven't gone to him. They're taking their sweet time. He's now saying he's up on nobody says, hey, I'll be right there. We'll change our plans. We'll get on a flight tonight. It's a 45-minute flight. Yeah.
Right.
They're going at all times, these flights. There's
I'm sure
no,
he has the
hey,
money to get a charter flight. Like if
of
he
course.
really has to get out of there.
Absolutely. And like he would know at least 10 people who have choppers. I mean,
Right.
seriously. I, I just am, that's what I'm saying. I'm enraged.
Yes.
I'm enraged. And I'm just trying to hold
Yes.
it together because I'm thinking this is way far out. Way far out. I mean,
Yeah.
we've allowed ourselves to make this world normal for the purposes of listening to all these conversations,
Yeah.
right? And we did discuss in previous episodes how bizarre this all is. Now
Yes.
we are kind of numb to, oh yeah, okay,
Yes.
this is the world, right? But I'm outraged as a person who is saying that is all not normal.
Yes.
Okay, I think I've covered it.
You feel better?
Yeah, not really, because I know there's
Okay.
more to come. I know the second I touch
Yeah.
this play button, and I'm just kind of playing with the play button, that we're
You're gonna get
gonna
dizzy.
get
Yeah.
another dose. And I don't, I'm really empathetic to Rahul's position, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay in the middle.
Yeah.
I really am.
You're doing a
But
good
yeah,
job of it.
yeah. Well, thanks. I don't know. So should we press on? I can't
Yes.
guarantee, by the way, that in 10 seconds I won't feel the need to pause because the way this
Sure.
conversation's going. Here we go.
We think alike with these things, so go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. We're just I need you to hold my hand, Sneha, really. I don't know how much more I can take. You know,
Yeah, we need to hold
Peter's
hands.
blood
Yeah.
pressure is going low, mine is going high. So
Hi. Yeah.
yeah. Here we go.
Told you about. Do you remember you told me about some property thing in Nagpur she was talking about? Okay, now there is a mail which has come from Sheena on the 19th. Okay, this is 19th. I can forward it to you. I will exactly be able to, but you can see it on my laptop also when it comes. You know, this mail reads as, I'll just read it out to you. It's right in the third day opened it. You know, Godhuli Katha Patin Day means I'll talk in the evening. Can we do the Nagpur trip during 30th April to 1st of May? Okay, 1st May is a holiday and I can take the day off on Monday. Sunday milai 3 din pai jam. What do you think? Then, my 28th half day, or that means I will take half day on the 28th. And 30th Monday Suti Loilom means I will take 30th Monday off. That means you tell me whether you can make it or no. Okay, this is Sheena's mail to me, this is her mail, okay, to me.
Yeah.
And then, which is what, in fact, that day when this mail came, I was telling Papa about it, then Papa said, nothing doing, you're not going anywhere. If anyone wants to come and meet you, whatever, they'll come and meet. So, you know, there is only, and again, okay, I will just show you another, I will just read out another mail, okay, from Sheena, which again came on the 19th morning itself.
Okay.
Good morning. You know, you must be Tupunit Lalkal. That means you must be still asleep. This she must have sent it about 10 in the morning from her office. Okay, that's what you want. And then, any update on the uni? I have applied again at Oxford Brook for MSc Business Management, Oxford for January 13th or January. I'll speak to boss about Saturday and update you later. Yeah? So that is, you know, so I don't know what, impression you were under. What is the distinct? So it is, certain things are probably, I don't know, I cannot again, what is the seat? Rahul, my interaction with her has been only in the last 15 days, okay? As little as that. Now, in between that, I have only met her twice. Okay, so I have absolutely no kind of understanding what your relationship was. I'm not in touch with you. I'm not in touch with her friends. The only thing she wanted, cash. That's all. And this whole, boy thing came up, the first time I met, and I came and told Peter the same day. I said, she's talking about some guy, whatever. But I didn't obviously understand the seriousness of it. I don't know who this guy is. I don't even know who this guy called Nishan Kurana or whatever. Who this guy is, I don't have any idea. But for whatever reason, she wanted me to come with her to Nagpur. Okay, that is all I can say. Now, beyond that, and that is now in the mail. And that is not now in the mail. It came on the 19th. You can see it on the mail. So it is not like, So, again, like I said, beyond this, I have absolutely no idea what it is. What the display is, I have no idea.
Okay, I don't want to go further than this because there was so much that was just said there that I think needs to be unpacked.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I just want to pull out that, okay, she's saying that she's received this mail on the 19th. Sheena Bora went missing on the 24th, wasn't it? So, she's talking 5 days in advance. Now, we know that Indrani was in the UK at that time. So when this mail came, she was actually in another country. So I'm just trying to keep all the facts straight for anyone who's listening and for ourselves also, because it gets a little confusing. So now she seems to be laying out some kind of, well, let's put it this way. It's as if she's on the witness stand and she's creating the timeline, right? On the 19th, I got this mail. There's a discussion. It's from Sheena. It's Sheena's discussion. Let's go to Nagpur. The discussion about when people are available to do all of this. Correct?
Yeah, while also claiming that she's not been in touch with her daughter for years. Like they're pals, but they've
I've
not been
not
touched.
heard from her except for in the last, what did she say? How many days? 15 days, did she say?
Yes, 15 days. Yeah.
Right. So now that sounds like someone who is really setting up a defense.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it sounds way official to me. It's
Yeah.
what you hear at a trial. This is my impression.
Well,
This is
especially
my
in
impression.
response to
No
I
one
want to
asked her.
jump off the building.
Yeah.
How
No
is
one
this a
asked her.
response to that?
Yeah, I don't get it. It is someone who's establishing the narrative and setting up alibis. I had nothing to do with her until this point. And then she brings this trip up, and then she brings up this guy. I came home directly and told
Mhm.
Peter. It sounds like when people try to establish alibis to me.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, she's not setting up a specific alibi at this moment in time, but she
Mhm.
is trying to say, hey, this is hitting me like you. I know nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 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 It's also so much filler. Who cares about these details that you've already rehashed over how many days now? Like, why are we going back to these things?
Yeah, but now she's actually giving information that you wonder why she didn't give
Right.
so many phone calls before. I have these
Yeah.
emails with these details. So why was this not just discussed earlier? Like, hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
I only heard from her in the last 15 days. So when he's asking, what's going on, we need to
Right.
find her. I would expect to have heard all of this back when.
Yeah.
And then she says, I'm not going to show you. Like, I'll show you. And then she takes it back and says, no, I'll read it to you. Because
Right.
obviously they're not in the same city. But you could also look at that like he's never going to see those emails,
Yeah. Right.
because I don't really want you to see these emails. And all she has to do is forward the emails. And so now we're
Yeah.
hearing this whole thing of like, and then she said something about this guy. I didn't realize it was so serious. She wanted to go to Nagpur. She even said, I'm taking a day off. So now that kind of harkens back to she took a day off.
But also,
That
he's
whole
seeking
conversation
comfort.
and narrative of she took a day off from the boss, right?
Right.
It's all getting mixed and confused.
But it's like it's such a bad time. Like it's such bad timing. The guy is seeking comfort, and she's bringing up the guy that Sheena's apparently run away with. Like all of it is messed up.
Yeah, I
But like the
agree.
intensity of it, it doesn't escape anybody. I think if you're listening to
Right,
it.
which is so weird that she's doing this right now. And
Yeah.
she's trying to defend herself, but no one has accused her of anything.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's, saying, she's providing details that you only provide when you're being accused of, sort of. If she had been forthcoming for these details earlier, it wouldn't seem like
Yeah.
so weird now. For the
Yeah.
points you raise, but I'm also additionally saying no one said, hey, put your hand on the Bible and,
Right.
do you intend to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? This is very weird.
That's guilty conscience, like you said. She probably
Yeah.
hears it as an accusation.
Well, and it's also like, okay, what is her motivation at this moment? What is prompting her to this next level of detail at this juncture? What is she
Yeah.
getting ahead of?
There was something else that I noticed that I
I mean,
thought
was
was
this for
interesting.
Peter's benefit or for Rahul's benefit or for both of them? I don't know.
Yeah. Don't know. Don't know. What goes on in her devious mind?
So go on, you were going to say. You noticed something else?
I thought Peter was doing what Indrani does when Peter's on the phone.
Which is?
Indrani's always giving all these additional details to
Mm-hmm.
corroborate what Peter's saying. And he did
Mm-hmm.
just that when Indrani was saying this mail, blah, blah, blah. And he said something about like, it's on mail or like,
Right.
I missed what it was. Like the roles reversed and now he's trying to corroborate what Indrani is saying,
Right.
which he's not done until now.
Correct.
If he's not on the phone, he's just there or he's, responding to something that Rahul is saying. He's not done this. He's not done in Indrani until now. This is the first time I've heard him chime in and try to support Indrani's story, which I thought was so odd.
Well, and it also leads me to question, like, when did this whole thing about meeting this Bentley guy's parents come in? And now he's gone out. That guy's nowhere in the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Nishant has a Bentley, so we don't, it's just like someone actively muddying everything and taking us to details which no one asked for and don't really provide any real information.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm speechless. Feel like we should keep pressing.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead. Did you have something more?
No, I was just gonna say that for a minute there when she started talking about the emails, I thought she was trying to reassure him by saying that these are emails after she disappeared. But it's like you said, what is the motive about bringing up emails 5 days before she disappeared? What are you trying to suggest? While also saying that you've not been in touch with your daughter except for the past 15 days. So you're saying she's
this
been
is my point.
so in touch.
What is she trying to say?
Yeah.
What is she defending? What is she getting ahead of? It's highly sus.
Yeah.
She's got some thought, some angle that she's, either she's actively, like, she's had a thought and she thought, "Ooh, boy, I better cover that up now. I just realized XYZ and I have to start talking about this."
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of saying, okay, who is she talking to? Rahul? Or is this for Peter's benefit?
Yeah.
She's making a case to Peter also. Perhaps, I don't know. It's confusing. So let's see what else she comes up with. Maybe that'll give us more understanding.
We can
doubt it, but yeah, we can dream.
We should have had a sus meter for this call.
Sus sketch.
Yeah.
Definitely. We need a Scientologist with their e-meter here.
Yes.
There we go. The polygraph would be off the chart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, I am also past this point of honestly, Rahul, getting everybody, for me, it is important for me to, I have a little girl, I need to move on, Papa needs to move on, you need to move on, everybody needs to move on with their life.
Move on from what? Move on from what, Indrani? Tell me.
Sorry?
Move on from what?
Move on to whatever, this thing is there. I mean, we can get involved only up to a certain point, no, Rahul? Involvement can be only up to a certain point, no? I mean, today, if a grown-up girl wants to go somewhere, she's gone. We can't do much about it, and she will, she's taken a flight and gone somewhere, she's taken a flight and gone somewhere. So, and, post that now, if she wants to, as and when she wants to, contact whoever, she will contact. If she's contacted home, I'm pretty sure she's contacted home also. I think so. Okay. So I can't say it for sure because she doesn't speak to me anyway. So I don't really know.
True.
Which is exactly what I was going to say.
Right.
Exactly. So now that part is understood, right? So now it's that part's understood.
Right.
That, we don't talk. So what do I know?
But I have these emails and I know she's probably contacted home She's not contacted you, the fiance, but she's contacted
Yeah.
everybody else.
So basically, she's contacted her grandparents. The home is her grandparents. Now look at that in of itself. Home is not with Rahul, the guy she's
Yeah.
engaged to and is living with.
Yes. Yeah.
Home is the grandparents.
Yeah.
I
But
just
even
wanna
that, she
go-
backtracks
Oh yeah, totally.
so that he
I want to
he
go
can't
back 10
verify.
seconds. I really
Sure.
want to go back 10 seconds. Yeah, which he can't verify
Yeah.
because she's gonna have that taken care of.
So I can't say it for sure because she doesn't speak to me anyway. So I don't really know.
Who? Sheena doesn't speak to you.
Sorry?
Who doesn't speak to you? Sheena?
No, but she's writing you emails and what have you.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, she hasn't been speaking to me in the last 3 years. You know, just in
No,
the
but
last
she-
15 days, she had spoken to me.
She's
you know,
made
this is
contact
like,
with
you
you,
know,
no? She's been talking with you over the last 2 weeks.
Sorry?
She made contact with you and she's been talking to you over the last 2 weeks, no?
Correct. So she's made, that's what I said. She's made contact with me after 3 years, Rahul.
But
And yeah, then post that, you know, I mean, she wanted money, I gave her money, and that was it. So beyond that, now since she doesn't contact me, you know, I can't, I mean, I'm not aware of her day-to-day life, I'm not aware of her routine, I'm not, and I'm sharing something with you now, Rahul. Her
Indrani,
was cancelling Nagpur, what she told me at that point, that, you know, I'm cancelling Nagpur because Rahul wants to come along. Okay, I didn't want to say it to you that way.
Okay.
But I said, fair enough, you know, sir, how will I get Rahul along? He's insisting on coming along.
Come on, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not going to insist on anything if she doesn't want me.
I gotta say it. Can't wait.
Do it.
So now she's got a guy in Nagpur. That's the story. That was that was one of the stories,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
now she's saying that they made these plans and Sheena wanted
Yeah.
Rahul to go.
Yeah. Because he insisted on coming.
Right. Because he insisted on coming. And, you know, I guess Rahul was going to go meet the parents of this guy also. And she's saying that, you know, it's only been 15 days, right? So she's having this conversation on the 19th on email, and then they're planning this thing for the 30th, 31st, whatever that was.
Yeah.
All that, I need to take a thing off and this and that. So Sheena's proposing to go look at property, right?
Yeah.
That was Indrani's thing. She's telling me she wants to look at property in Nagpur. And now, and presumably because she has a future there. And Rahul is supposed to come along. Okay, great. Now it's just too crazy. And it's all about the money.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, just so we're clear. I mean, God, for God's sake, round and round we go.
Want me to come along? I'm not going to say fine, TK, you go, but I'm not going to insist or anything.
Yeah. No, I don't know. No, I don't know what is the conversation you've had with her, she's had with you. That I don't know. No. All that I don't know. I mean, all this while, again, I will share another thing with you. Okay, now, what was the reason behind it? I don't know. But, you know, I mean, she had said that apparently you had asked her to say you all live in Navi Mumbai, and, you know, I mean, there's a lot of these things about him. If you know, give a different address, give a different distance. So I don't know what the background was, what it was. I have no idea, you know.
I haven't asked her to move to Navi Mumbai, nothing of the sort.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, again, you know, what she has come and told me, I can only tell you that much. Because my conversations with her have been over the phone and the UK, and, you know, the two very short conversations that I have had over dinner 2 nights. And, you know, the last time she wanted money before that, and she asked me for money before that. And I've given her the money. So I'm sure she'll, you know, kind of at the time and point she wants to, contact whatever she'll do, yeah. Because she's a grown-up girl at the end of the day, Rahul, if she wanted to contact you, she would have contacted you, Rahul. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, if she wanted to contact anybody, she would have contacted them. No, she hasn't contacted anybody. Anybody.
Yeah, probably because she feels, I'll tell you probably why. This is my view, okay? That's because you are calling up everyone.
How do we know if she's dead or alive, Indrani? She hasn't contacted anybody.
Why would you think she'll be dead for no reason? She's got a flight and gone somewhere. Why would she be dead for no reason? She's not, people don't just, it's not exactly a movie or something. She's taken a call for whatever reason she's informed people, in her own way she has informed. Whatever she's, I wouldn't think, why would I think she's dead? She's informed everyone that she's going and that's it. So at the right time, as and when she's ready, she will contact. Why would she be dead? And people don't just roll out dead just like that, no?
That's my worry, though, having not heard anything.
I don't think you need to worry on that account at all. Please don't worry. Because, when somebody, she's been on a phone call, she's been talking to people, she's gone to the airport, she's taken a flight, so she clearly can't be doing all that dead, no? And she's taken cash, and people don't take cash to, just go and die, no?
Honestly, I don't think you should really be worried on that front.
I don't think you should be worried on that front, Rahul, at all. Okay, you should.
In time, okay, I promise you that. She will resurface in time, someplace, somewhere, soonish. Okay?
God, I hope so. I really hope so.
But that time also she might want to contact him.
Contact him.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if she contacts me or if she contacts anybody else, but she just has to contact somebody so that there's some knowledge that she's okay. Why can't anybody else understand this?
Okay.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying to you that I'm pretty sure, right?
How can you guys be so calm? If for example, Vidhi turned 18, right? So she's a full-grown adult. She's an adult girl, and she disappeared. She went off somewhere. She just went off. All her phones went off. Everything went off. There's no contact, nothing. Nobody could reach her. You tried spoke to her friends and spoke to her college or whatever. She's just gone off. No, then would you not be concerned?
I'll tell you.
Would you not be running around frantically looking for her?
Let me tell you. Let me answer that. Okay? If it was with some degree of background where Vidhi had said that, I'm going to go to Nagpur, this is a long weekend, I want to take 28 to the 1st off, and I see it on an email, right? Then I know, and she's taken a certain amount of dosh, then I would feel 99.99% sure that she has gone with some intent with that money and on that long weekend somewhere. I may not believe that she's necessarily gone to Nagpur, but I would believe that she's gone somewhere. All right? And if she had earlier indicated to somebody close to her that she was looking to get out of her relationship, right? Then
who did she indicate this to? To who? To Indrani? She didn't indicate to any of her friends. She didn't indicate to anybody else.
I'm talking about to Indrani.
Yeah, obviously. So, somebody who she hasn't spoken to for 3 years, why would she suddenly feel that she has to,
And she then, after not speaking for 3 years, she's the one who initiates an email.
Yeah, right? I know.
Why? Why does she initiate an email? So that she can go and die?
No, I'll tell you why. Because me and you weren't in touch, Papa, and she felt bad for that, and she felt it was somewhat her, partly her doing, her responsibility also, and she thought if she can patch things up with Indrani to a certain extent, then maybe that will also change.
Okay, but let's assume.
So that's
Yeah.
interesting. So he's saying that, she only got in touch with Indrani because, obviously these are two people who are thinking of getting married. They are getting married, right? They're engaged.
Yeah.
The relationships are strained. So the idea is that if Sheena makes the first move, then, and her mother gets a little happy, then the father will be happy. And therefore the relationship between father and son will repair itself.
Yeah.
That is so sad. Because of course Rahul would feel absolutely out of his mind that she's gone into the lion's den.
Yeah.
For him. And now he is not convinced. And he's even asking the question of if she's alive or dead. So he is really feeling like. So now his wanting to jump from the top of a building is starting to come into focus.
Yeah.
It's very heavy. What do you think?
The only thing that I could piece together, I was listening to, I was trying not to get sucked into, their dialogue because it's so upsetting.
Yes. Yeah.
There's such such denial of you shouldn't worry about this, you shouldn't worry about that, you can't question about this, can't question about that. We don't know who she is, but we can guarantee you almost 99% that she's not dead. It's just such a mind game. But I was also trying to think about what Indrani is trying to subtly say, and I think we covered this, but it just became so obvious to me all of a sudden, which is that my daughter, alleged daughter, was not in touch with me for the last 3 years, but she was so fed up of you, Rahul, that she got in touch with me, got cash, talked about wanting to get away from you. You, on the other hand, insisted on being close to her. The only avail she had was me, and she's trying to get away from you. So she used that option by getting in touch with me to get away from you. And now you're the last person she's going to contact because God knows what kind of a person you are. So she, in her time of need, my daughter came to me to get help from me to get away from you. That seems to be the kind of picture that she's painting.
Really well said. Really well said. That is spot on in my opinion. All right. I feel like
I know.
we've got to keep plowing through.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
That is so. All right. So she patches up with Indrani. Within a week of that patching up, she then says to Indrani, "Look, I need some money. I need to do something. I want to get out of the relationship. I need 30,000 bucks. I have 30,000 and gross changes to 40,000. Okay. And then after that, she says, I'm not going back. I'm going away from here. That's it. Where do you want to get dropped back? I want to be dropped back to Emerson's. Right?
Was that okay? Was that did she? Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Did she?
Okay, so just a reminder about Armasons.
Yes.
We had showed this on the map.
Yeah.
So this is the department store. We had shared this in a previous episode, but do you happen to have that photo? I think I have it. Let me just pull it up.
I can. Okay. I can pull it up too.
If you got it, you got it. Okay, great.
I just need to. I'm on the street view. I just need to go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Let's see. Give me just
So this was the story. While you're looking, I'll just kind of go over this. So this is the place where it's claimed that she was dropped. by Rahul, right? He had dropped her somewhere nearby.
Mhm.
This is a department store. She went in, according to Indrani, they went in together. They did some shopping, and Sheena bought a sari. And there's a lot of discussion in one of the previous episodes about the time, how long that took to try on some saris and then buy those things and leave.
Mhm.
Because it's some distance from the road, and there's all those parking spots in front.
Mhm.
And we had already gone over this, but it is a fairly busy part of the road anyway, with or without this store. It
Yes.
is a very popular landmark. Many people shop here, and it's smack dab in a very important road, entering an important road, the Link Road.
Mhm.
And this is a spot that, anyone who knows anything about Bandra would certainly know where this is.
Yes.
They don't stay open late. But of course, they're talking, I think it was 6:37.
Right.
So just to give an idea of that, this is an important piece to this whole story of the Sheena timeline. So I thought it would be
Yes.
worth showing. Thanks for doing that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. I didn't really want to stop the whole thing, but it is busy, but it's also like if they were there in that shop, and at this moment we don't have any real reason to doubt that part of the story. But all those shopkeepers, I would think that they would have some recollections. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and also if she wants to get away from this guy so bad, why would she want to be dropped at Amarsons? Why wouldn't she be dropped closer to the airport or some
Yeah, I
station? The
didn't
Bandra station
understand
is right
that
there.
at all. That
Yeah.
didn't fit, because just for anybody who's listening, this landmark here is not close to the airport. I mean, I
Right.
don't, and
And
when I'm thinking about it, there, as you could see in the photograph, it's not a taxi stand area. If she was gonna like hop into a vehicle and go to the airport, right? She would have been dropped further down. Now, the thing is that perhaps she didn't want anybody to know that that's what she was doing, whatever. But still, it's just odd. Very odd. Not a great
right.
place to try to flag down a transport, by the way, everyone. Not an easy
Yeah.
place to get transport right there.
Yeah,
Difficult.
especially yeah, extremely. Like it's hard even with the amount of rickshaws and public transportation available. It's hard to
Absolutely.
get. Yeah.
Absolutely. They'd all be filled. The ones going by
Yes.
there would be filled. So that's why I also don't understand saying that, because typically if you're gonna go from that place, right, Armisons,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to walk a bit out of
Yes.
the main drag, because could you go back to that for a second? I don't want to belabor this too much, but I do think it's an important part of this conversation here, because it's just a very difficult place. You're coming from Townside, sort of, but a bunch of key roads come together at that point. Yeah, I'm wondering if it goes the other way. Okay, so yeah, I mean,
It's
interestingly,
not
okay,
usually this empty.
it's not usually. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
seen that empty.
Yeah.
That's quite. Maybe that's why the
It's
photo got
COVID.
taken.
There's masks and stuff, so it's probably COVID time.
Right. Oh, that's why. Yeah, for sure. Could we go back the other direction for a second? Oh, wait. Now this
Sure.
is coming
This is downside.
Townside, right? That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
establish. Okay, so this, you can see though, there's a road coming from left, right? There's a lane coming from that way. Then there's another one. Show the next one where this traffic over here. right? And then there's another
Yeah.
road here. It is
Yeah.
a very difficult place to get a rickshaw because they don't stop there because there is no easy way to stop there. Now, the only way you're going to get a rickshaw over here, and that's assuming a rickshaw, right,
Mm-hmm.
is if someone gets out of one
Yeah.
at Armarson's.
Most of them. Which
And
is
this
huge.
is like impossible over here usually.
Yeah.
You have to you took your life in your hands anytime you're
Yes.
trying to cross around here. Typically, you'd have to keep walking down the link road in that direction that you're facing at this moment in time to try to even just
Mm-hmm.
navigate this whole thing.
Yeah.
So it is a really, yeah, it's confusing. It's a confusing narrative.
Also, if she
Mhm.
is allegedly at domestic airport the next morning, wouldn't she at least go? Indrani stays in Worli, which is downside, so it's much further away this way.
Yes.
Wouldn't she go with Indrani, stay overnight with Indrani, get dropped to a hotel, get dropped to a friend's place, get dropped close to any of these areas so that she can get away from this guy who she is dying to get away from, aka
Yeah, and
Rahul?
she's desperate to get away from him to the point where she drops out of sight, doesn't take
Yeah.
anything with her, right?
Yeah.
But she's buying a
But she wants
sari,
to go. Yeah.
which is
Who wants
not
to go
going to
to
be her.
Amarson's?
And listen, that's not going to be her everyday wear. I want everyone to
Yeah.
understand this. This is not a girl
That's
wearing
wedding
a sari
shopping.
every day. This
No.
is a girl who is going to be wearing proper office clothes that are Western.
Yeah.
So why is she buying a sari?
And browsing jewelry. Wouldn't you not want
Now,
jewelry if you're taking a
see that
flight?
this again is like, okay, is this supposed to be suggestive of a wedding? I'm
That's what
not
I
just
took
saying
it
that for the
as.
jewelry, but I'm also talking about the sari. Like, okay, she's meeting formally. She's gonna wear a sari. In case that's not clear
Right.
to people, that if it's a traditional guy, with a traditional family, yeah, she'll like if it's a Nagpur guy, right?
Mm,
She's gonna be in sari for that meeting.
right.
What would you say? 80%, 85%,
Yes.
90%?
Even
She'll
if he
be in a
has a birthday.
sari.
Yeah.
So
Especially for this kind of an occasion where it's for marriage. Yes.
yeah, I mean, so that's all I got to say about that for the moment. But I felt it was an important moment to just, okay, let's check the facts. I'm going to go back 10 seconds just for ease.
Sure.
To get back into that, because I don't like to cut off even a single word at this point, because it seems like everything that's getting communicated here is for the record.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
But did she listen, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Did she get dropped off to Amarson's in the night or in the morning?
That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
No,
In the night,
darling.
sure. Because I got a message from her. I got a message from her in the evening saying she's having a good time and she'd enjoying talking to Indrani and she'd quite like to spend the night with Indrani.
You got a message, is it?
Yeah.
What time?
I'll tell you. It was in the night. It was in the evening time. It was from Sheena. She said when I was asking her what time shall I collect you and whatnot, she sent me a message saying that she's enjoying chatting with Indrani and she'd like to spend. She mentioned Indrani as Indy and she said she'd like to spend the night. XX. I'll see you in the morning. What? No, I can show you on my phone. What? I'm not lying.
No. What? I'm not saying a lie. What time was that message, Alex?
That message was in the night time. I can't remember exactly. It was quite late. It must have been 11, 12 or something like that. Quite late.
Doesn't want to tell the time. Doesn't want them to know the time of the message.
Yes.
Right. Important to note.
Which is
I
really
don't want to take it for granted that, I just think it's important to raise that point. He doesn't want them to know because he doesn't want to hear another story.
right. Exactly.
And
That's what I said.
Peter's jumping out of his skin.
Yeah. So is Indrani.
Also important to know.
No.
Yes.
And I love his response. What do you mean no? Like,
You think I'm
She
making it up?
pushed me. Yeah, but it's like anything that he says is discounted, which makes sense because they're like fighting him.
But look how he moved into that. He moved into that with saying, "So did you? What time did you drop? Was it the night
Yes.
or was it the morning?" Which he already knows
Yeah.
what the story is, the narrative is.
Right.
And of
Yes.
course, it's like, well, of course, at the night. And then he
Yeah.
goes into the next thing. Yeah, well, I had a message from her saying she was going to stay with you. And so you just
Yeah.
pointed that out on the map and made that same point. Like, why wouldn't she just go home with Indrani then?
Right. Yeah.
And, like I had made the point of, hey, that's not a shop that stays open super late.
Yes.
So there you go. I know. So the plot thickens. And I'm telling you, Rahul, that was a really respect. Because
Yes.
he is way ahead.
Smart guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see what else comes up.
No, Rahul, I just 1 second. Rahul must be calling again.
Yeah, it's okay.
Notice how he didn't share that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Martin, I will call you back. Please have another call. Yeah.
Just call her.
Yeah. You have to call.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like Saved by the Bell.
If you want, I can call
Yes.
you. Check what time that message was.
Okay, all right. Call me back in 2 seconds, huh? 2 minutes.
I'll call you in a few seconds.
Really amazing. Really amazing how that happened. And the phone rang. And now Peter's also wanting getting off the phone.
And
He's
Rahul
also
is
wanting
like,
to
but
get off
yeah,
the phone.
2 minutes, huh?
Yeah, 2 minutes. Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not
I'm
going to
watching.
get off. Like, I'm not going to let you have time to corroborate, like put a story
Yeah.
together. Wow. Where are you at now after we've listened to these calls today?
It's not looking good. Like
I mean, are you in the same place as you came in? Or are you leaving in a different place?
I was actually just thinking about that. I think I'm leaving in a different place.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
I think I am too. Yep. I am now. I'm trying to understand now, Peter.
Yeah.
Indrani to me is behaving in such a way that I would have a difficult time believing her.
Yes.
So she's always been in the shade, if you want to know the truth.
Yes. Definitely.
Even though I kept an open mind, I was willing to be persuaded.
Yeah.
Her responses never made sense to me.
Right.
Peter has been the one where I seesaw.
Yes.
Up until this point, I've been seesawing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not so sure. I'm leaning the other way.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm leaning to he has a bigger part to play than I thought. Now, the only thing I can say is their goals may be different. So I could still buy that his goal is different than Indrani's. I still could believe that his purpose is perhaps different. But I felt there were a few damning pieces there, which we've already discussed, so I won't rehash. But I will say that he is looking more in the know.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting that Rahul, for these many conversations, he did say that he heard from Sheena in the night. He did say that from the beginning and in the morning. And then he said that the messages seemed odd and weird. Right? So he did say that he did hear from Sheena in the night, but he only talked about that Royal China Land's End message, those things. This is new.
Yeah.
And he held that back the whole time. So
Yeah.
do we need to reconsider our thought that he was buying into it?
I think even if he did, he would have just accepted it for the moment, but not fully bought it.
He clearly didn't accept it for the, momentarily, but,
Right.
five
Just to
minutes
like
after hanging
consider.
up or 20 minutes after
Right.
hanging up or half an hour, he
Like, what
was
just
back on the
happened?
case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's
Just
kind of
to
an
consider
interesting
all
point.
bases.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing is we don't know what other conversations. I mean, don't you wish he recorded his conversations with everyone?
Yeah.
Because, did you notice in the last phone call, somebody's phone was getting call after call? And now they could have been on both sides because we can't tell, but there was that sound that, comes when there's another phone call coming, ringing.
Beep beep.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause
Yeah.
it goes blank for a second on the audio, like a half a second.
Mm.
And that's a phone call coming in. So he's still doing what he's covering his bases, Rahul. He is going, he's having conversations, and I surely would love to know which conversations he was having in between all these conversations.
Yeah.
Because as much as he's saying, you tell me everything, he stopped
Yep. Yeah.
really saying much of anything.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are your thoughts now?
Yeah, he would make a good, we've talked about this, he'd make a good detective or attorney. Like, he does that so well. He's so astute. Even in these trying moments of his grief, like, he's still so with it, just wants to get the truth. And I love
Yeah.
how he does that so well. Like, he'll give them enough information to scare them,
Mm.
and then he'll hold back the details so that they can't concoct a story around it, and then explain it away. But what I thought was interesting on this call, this seemed like one call to me, where Peter started off with saying he has low BP, low blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He seems more with Indrani than he has before. They seem like they
Yes.
seem
More partnered in it.
Yeah, they seem more partnered. And I
Mhm.
think I'm mainly getting that from how he chimes in the way Indrani would when things
Yes.
are being discussed. And he's more um yeah, he seems to buy into and reinforce Indrani's narrative, which I haven't seen him do before. Like, if she said, yeah, if Indrani said, Peter hears all my calls with Sheena, and he'd be like, no, no, not all calls, I'm not always around. But this time they were just synchronous in the information that they were giving out. And I thought that something, it's like you said, what is happening in between these recordings that we're missing? Like, what happened that he switched?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about that myself, specifically right now when you're talking. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm trying to imagine, how did that happen?
Yeah.
What actually came about here and it's confusing. So because I'm kind of imagining a conversation between these two. So did Indrani say, did she confess something to Peter? It may not have been the truth also, but something that made him just change directions. And I am thinking, what would that be? Because up until this, point, I really felt that, he seemed just offhanded,
Yes.
not really in it, saying like cliche kind of advice.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk to so and so. Okay, we've talked to Mr. Mukerjea, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this
Move
is
on. Get your act
definitely
together.
a different fabric that is being used here to weave something else. Yeah, it's very curious. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that by the next episode, I'll have figured something more out. And I think this is a great place to wrap up. Let's have a little bit of a cliffhanger here, because I certainly do want to hear what's going to come next. What do you think?
Yeah. As much as I don't want to hear their voices, Peter and Indrani's, I can't wait to hear what they have to say on our next episode.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that I'm so happy. This is separate from the Sheena Bora case, but I'm so happy that we started Classic Trials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening out there and you haven't had a chance to see it yet, definitely look into Trials. We're calling it Classic Trials. That's because these are major cases that really broke through on headlines. You know, they became the talk of the town or the talk of the nation here in the U.S. And I'm hoping to extend an invite to cases around the world that people want to let us know about, that we'll try to track down and show those as well. So that's an open invite for anybody to send us information on other trials that they think would be of interest. Yeah, we've got our first one running now. In fact, literally running now.
Yes.
But I do invite people to take a look at some of those cases because they really are classic trials for a reason. And we're trial fanatics over here
Yeah.
on Criminal
time.
Conversations. We love the minutia. So I think that does it for this episode.
I just want to say that the
Yeah.
trial stream at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. So just
Thank
be on the
you.
lookout. Yeah.
Awesome. And Oscar seems like he's ready for his walk. So I think this is a good moment to wrap up. I'm getting the doe eyes over here. So,
Oh.
aw.
All right. Well, see you next time.
All right. See you next time. I can't wait to hear your new thoughts when we return
Same. See you.
next week.